Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for finding the time to join this session today. My name is Stefan Smith, and I'm a business development manager here at Iress in the sourcing division. So I look after everything mortgage and protection sourcing related. I'm joined today by Nicola Firth, CEO and founder of Knowledge Bank. Good morning, Nicola.
Good morning, Stefan. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'll run through a live demo of Xplan Mortgage for you today, showing you how quick and easy it is to source mortgages. Nicola will also show you a live demonstration of Knowledge Bank, and then we'll show you how powerful they are when used together through our latest partnership and integration. We're going to use criteria sourcing to refine the product sourcing results. Just before I move on, we've called this session the Holy Grail of mortgage sourcing. Now, that's not because we're a little too big for our boots, but it's because it was actually a statement within some feedback we received recently from an advisor at one of our previous sessions. Xplan Mortgage is our complete mortgage and protection sourcing and client management platform. It's cloud-based, so products are always up to date, and it allows you to access cases remotely on your computer, smartphone, or tablet. This means you can respond to customers anytime and anywhere. It offers multi-user capability, so you can instantly collaborate with colleagues and clients. It will work across your business, no matter how many advisors or administrators you have, and no matter where they are in just one office or spread over several offices, or even if you're working from home or have a mixture of both. Xplan Mortgage has a very large amount of functionality beyond just mortgage sourcing, and it uses exactly the same data and sourcing engine as TriGold. It has protection quoting built in, so you can quote protection at the same time as your mortgage source to start that conversation. Or you can even run a standalone quote, or even a quote for an existing client without having to re-enter their details. It has a client database to store all of your customer information and data. And it also has a task, diary, and case management system built in to control all of your clients' information. It has a full and comprehensive fact find available for each and every client. And it can also produce your protection demands and needs and your mortgage suitability reports. It has a built-in client portal that gives you the opportunity of interacting with your clients over a secure site set up to look and feel like your own website. You can exchange secure messages, exchange secure documents. You can even send PDFs to your clients for them to e-sign. You can share the fact find with them, so the client can complete it at their own leisure. It walks them through everything they need to know. It even gives them a view on the sections that you're going to ask them to complete. It has the Knowledge Bank integration, which allows you to source criteria as well as product information. We'll cover that in a little bit more detail shortly. And an eligibility feature, which gives you a soft credit check, near lender decision in principle accuracy for credit bureau, affordability, and credit record. And it has Lender Connect, which is a straight through to lender broker portal pre-population system that saves you 20 to 30 minutes for every case. You don't have to rekey, and also avoiding all of those rekeying error pitfalls. So just want to jump right in now and do a quick mortgage source using Xplan Mortgage. Just need to fill in a couple of client details here. And then I've got all of my normal requirement choices, whether it's a purchase or remortgage, first time buyer, residential and buy to let. Your payment methods, also a term of years here. Need to enter a value or a purchase price. You can choose mortgage schemes, put in a loan to value. I can narrow my rate preference here if I wish, and I've then got all of my filters and choices around the new FCA MCOB cheapest mortgage rule. Once I click source, the system's now reaching out to exactly the same product catalogue that TriGold uses, and it'll come back with identical results. We've tried to design this to look and feel like the TriGold results as best we can. All the results are in the middle here, and then you've got your information panel on the left. Also tab-based approach across the top, so you can make tweaks and changes. One thing I want to show you is this Knowledge Bank check criteria button. As I click through the lenders, you'll notice that remains constant. What we've done is we've built in a free area of Knowledge Bank that you can access with every Xplan mortgage license. This will give you the ability to check individual lenders under their criteria. You can browse by their groups. You could look down by their, on this particular occasion, 418 headings, or you could type in a keyword that might bring up the criteria you're looking for, And that will then give you that lender's outlook on that particular criteria. That was a very brief mortgage source through Xplan Mortgage. I'd now like to hand over to Nicola so she can show you around Knowledge Bank.
Thanks, Stefan. So moving on to Knowledge Bank. So this system stands alone, and I'm going to show you the standalone system, and then we'll move on to the integration and how it works with Xplan Mortgage. So of course you'll be used to placing cases, and traditionally you may have used a spreadsheet, you'll be looking on lenders' websites, you'll be making calls to BDMs, trying to understand what the criteria is. But let's just go into it, and straight away we'll jump in and start a search. So let's do a residential mortgage. So let's imagine this scenario. You have clients who've come to see you and they tell you they've got 1 year's self-employed accounts, because everybody who comes to see you have just gone self-employed. So 1 year's self-employed accounts. This is on a 0 hours contract. They get child benefits. They're wanting to buy an unusual property. Let's say it's got a thatched roof, and they've had a CCJ that was satisfied in the last 3 years. Where are you going with that case? Well, now the first option is to go on Knowledge Bank, because it's going to save you so much time. So let's have a look at that. So let's put those things in. So if we put in self-employed, you can see lots and lots of different categories that come up for there. But let's look at this one, self-employed, 1 year's accounts. And the question that we're asking of the lender, will the lender consider an application from an applicant who only has 1 year accounts? So let's pop that in there. If I type in 0 hours contracts, as soon as I start typing, it comes in. You can also do it another way as well if we jump into browse criteria. So we talked about child benefits. So you can see here, we've got all the high level categories. So if we go into benefits, we can see child benefits. I can just click to add that in there. And all the time here, you can see you're building your case. So we have currently self-employed 1 year's accounts, 0 hours contract, child benefit. If we jump back into browse criteria and let's look at adverse credit, and we talked about a county court judgment that was satisfied in the last 3 years. And then just to give a real curveball, we said they were buying a property with a thatched roof. And this is where the system's really, really clever, because if I start typing the word thatched, you can see automatically it knows that you're looking for something with a period property. So you don't even necessarily need to know what you're looking for, because in our industry, as you'll be familiar, there's sometimes 2 and even 3 different descriptions for the same piece of criteria. So that's a really smart, intuitive search that we have there. So there's your case with 5 pieces of criteria on, and we just hit the search on Knowledge Bank. And the results come up, and I'm just going to jump straight to the top right hand corner and show you a key, because this is really quite important. So we grade all the answers. I say we, it's actually the lenders themselves that keep Knowledge Bank up to date. So they will decide whether that is a yes, they'll do it, no they won't, or something in between. So the way that the grading works, the yeses come to the top and the no's go to the bottom. So the lenders that are most likely to accept that case will come to the top. So yes is green. Then we have a yellow, which is yes with conditions. Yes with conditions is, for example, will the lender accept overtime as part of their affordability assessment? And the condition might be yes, they will, but they'll only take 60% into account, and you have to provide 3 months pay slips, for example. Then we have a yes by exception, which is orange. So the exception could be something such as, will you do a day 1 remortgage? Yes, we will. We wouldn't ordinarily, but we will if it's an inherited property. So that's a definite exception. Then we have refer to lender. So this is where the lender genuinely would need to see the case. And we sit that above a no, because actually it's better than a no. It's a chance as opposed to no chance that you might be able to place that case. And then of course we've got the no's, because they're so important. A quick no is really, really important. And then we also have information as well. Information is where every question is answered with a yes or a no where possible, but there are some questions that we just can't answer with a positive or a negative. So for example, what accountant's qualifications does the lender recognise? And that would be an information. So once you get the results, you can see here, you can scroll down, and as we go down to the bottom, you can see lenders with lots of no's are less likely to accept that. So you're probably looking at a lender nearer the top. But unlike product sourcing, we're not saying go with the top lender, because you've got to be able to look into these and actually understand what the criteria is. So you can click into any one and you can check out the criteria in full. And just the other little thing you can do in here as well is add your own notes. So if you want to put a note on that stays with that, that's just visible to you and nobody else. But if you have conversations with BDMs, that is particularly useful. So if we go back in here, I'm going to hand over to Stefan now, who's going to show us how Knowledge Bank and Xplan Mortgage have come together to integrate. So Stefan, back over to you.
Thanks, Nicola. That was great. On the results screen here, I just wanted to be able to point out the amount of products that we return on that first source, just over 6,700. That's just for sort of reference a little bit later. And just before we get into the integration, I want to show you how to link an Xplan Mortgage and Knowledge Bank account together, and also that you can sign up for a free 30-day unlimited trial of Knowledge Bank. Up in the top right-hand corner here, you have your advisor icon. If you click on the drop down there, you've got Knowledge Bank credentials. You can input your username and password from Knowledge Bank here to link the accounts. Actually, if you don't have an account already, click on the Manage My Account. You're then taken to Knowledge Bank where you can sign up here. And it does mention that new accounts receive 30 days free and limited access. Once you've registered, take your username and password back into Xplan Mortgage and input them here. And then you'll be back into Xplan Mortgage with the accounts linked up. Okay, just back to the results again, so we can demonstrate the full criteria search. So I'm gonna get my results here now listed. There we go. All I need to do is jump into the criteria search tab, and I can start adding the same criteria that Nicola showed us earlier, and start building that same case to show you how the integration works. So Nicola, would you mind just talking me through those criteria points? What was the first one?
So the first one we had self-employed with 1 year's accounts.
If I start typing self-employed, then I've got that here. I can choose that, and I've got it in my bank already. That's brilliant.
The next one we had was 0 hours contracts.
Nice and easy. That's great. That one's appeared in the review case. And like Nicola showed you as well, on the integration, you've got the ability to browse criteria. If you just can't think of a particular phrase that a lender might use, you can just browse the different categories there. And the next one.
Next we had child benefit.
Brilliant. There it is there. Can it be accepted? And another one.
Property with a thatched roof.
Superb. So if I start typing thatched, it comes up straight away.
And then the last one was a CCJ that was satisfied over 3 years ago.
So it's that one there. County Court judgment satisfied over 3 years. Fantastic. So again, we're now into the review your case area. I've got those 5 pieces of criteria that I want to check into. And very exactly the same button that we have on the full Knowledge Bank. I click that. And the system is going into Knowledge Bank and coming back with those same results. And Nicola walked through these and what the icons were. You've still got the ability to check the key on the system here. We've also got the ability to edit that search if I want to add in or take any more out. And what I also need to do is start looking at the lenders that will consider my criteria challenges that I have here. Ideally, any lender with a green circle or a yellow circle, somebody it's worth looking at. And as I go down the list and start selecting the lenders, I think anybody with the red circle and an X, not acceptable, probably not worth looking at. Once I've clicked those, I can now click my source button. And this is the integration that will overlay the criteria sourcing onto the product results. And hopefully the first thing you'll see is from nearly 7,000 products, we're down to under 1,000 products here. That's really reduced my sort of workload straight away. Another great feature in the integration, back on the criteria search tab, I've also got the ability to link straight over to my Knowledge Bank full account. I click on Manage My Account. I come into Knowledge Bank and I can log in here. And now under my user icon up here, I've got a recent searches area. Once I've clicked on that, it'll show me any searches I've done through any integration, and this one I've just done through Xplan Mortgage. And there's those 5 criteria challenges that I had, and it's date and time stamped it there. What this gives me the ability to do is to produce evidence. So I can jump straight in. it basically brings back my results that I produced for those criteria challenges. And at the top of the screen now, I can click on evidence of research and I can start building my case here. So all I need to do is pop in a few details around the address and the customer's requirements. Click next. I can type in my details around reason for recommendation and create the PDF. Can download that PDF, and I've got all of my evidence here from a knowledge bank. And probably another powerful feature, if I go back to Xplan Mortgage, back onto the mortgage products, up in the top right here, I can produce my product list report at this point. And now I can couple the two pieces of research together, both in PDF format, couple that with my knowledge bank evidence, and I think I've got pretty much everything covered.
I think this is really valuable. Before at Knowledge Bank, I was a mortgage broker, and the one thing that I always got taught is that you can never have enough on file to back up your recommendation. And one of the things the FCA say is that you have to evidence your research. And up until this point, it's only been possible to do that with regards to product, because of course it's impossible to evidence the calls you've made, the websites that you've been on, and the spreadsheets, and looking for the criteria detail. And the chances are that the evidence of research with regards to criteria is even more important when it's not been possible to pick the cheapest product. And that happens quite often. And the case that we've just run through now is a classic example of where you are not going to be able to get the cheapest product for your client. So the power of having your product sourcing results overlaid with the criteria search results, if from a compliance perspective, is bolt and braces, because you're able to say, on this day, at this time, this is what these lenders said their criteria was. And that's why we went with this product and this lender, and it just tells the full story. So I think that is something that's really, really powerful. And you can certainly never be in trouble for having too much evidence on a compliance file.